Cadillac style. 2011 Cadillac Ciel concept. There's so much to see here. We just watched a fantastic movie. Pebble Beach cars, show cars, concept cars, suicide door cars. Look at the interior on this beauty. Where do you even describe these cars? They are amazing. Cadillac style, the Ciel Sky. Cadillac V12 rear engine North Star, 12-cylinder mounted right behind the front seats. You'd never believe it's a Cadillac. Cadillac design. Converge. This is a V16 Cadillac. Look at that interior. Smell that leather. It's been driven. Someone gets to run around with these unbelievable concept cars. Where's the windshield wipers? 2003 Cadillac 16 concept. Dual hood panels are power operated, of course. Cadillac Converge concept, Cadillac Ciel, and the Cadillac Sky Ciel. Got some older Buicks there from a 65 Grand Sport and a Buick Century. And we've got the Cadillac Seville, the Bustleback. They were all popular in the day, but they're gone now. That one's with TPC spec tires, tire performance criteria, junk tires, Royal Seal garbage. Look at the door alignment on this. Door open? That door wasn't closed properly. Look at the way that door doesn't close. Needs a little adjustment. Oh, I got scolded. Whoops. Cadillac 1971 Coupe de Ville. Let's go over and check out the engines for the Cadillacs. 57 Cadillac Eldorado, 55 Coupe de Ville. Whole lineup of Cadillacs. Better than that is all the engines for the Cadillacs. Let's go check them out. Cadillac XLR, kind of sort of Corvette and Cadillac clothing. Cadillac Evoque concept. 1931 Cadillac V16. Got a Chevy small block 327 with that little plug there. Oil passage plug that disappeared when they went to the 350 in 67. 235 stove bolt, same engine you find in a Corvette with some side draft Corvair carburetors that saw use in the Corvette. The Corvair 10 years later. Beretta Indy Pace car, North Star 4.6, blah blah blah, all too modern for me. Turbocharged. What's this? Pontiac 389 Tri-Power. .370 horsepower Tri-Power. This is the older style with the crossover from the water pump into the heads. They updated that and put the crossover there through there in the intake manifold. Different design. Water goes into here instead of across there. This is early 60s. Exhaust manifold points forward. Interesting. This one, center dump. Tight fit. Tri-Power. Olds 455 dual overhead cam. Do I remember this thing on the cover of Hot Rod magazine back in 1970? Lots of breathers, lots of carburetors. These are Weber's, made in Italy. No more rubber hose than an Oldsmobile. This has got steel pipe. Olds 455 twin turbo with mechanical fuel injection. Oldsmobile rocket power. 3.8 turbo. Looks like something you'd find in a 78 or 79 T-Type, or even the what was the full size? The Sabre had one of these. Oldsmobile, Warren Johnson, high performance. Got some modern stuff here. Aurora V8. Olds 215, the same engine that they use, the concept of it, or the architecture that they use in the Land Rovers and Range Rovers for years and years and years. British Leyland. Olds and Buick sold this. This is the Buick version with the upright valve covers, similar to the nailhead that's in my Buick. Looks like a Chevy air cleaner from a 65 327 325 horse. Front half of a turbo hydromatic 400. How interesting is that? Twin turbo. Dual overhead cam and a 409 with 2 4-barrels, 425 horsepower. With a metal badge on the air filter. So much to see here. The Chevy 427. All aluminum. Is that the ZL1? Even has the air injection reactor pump. This is the same as that Oldsmobile way up in front. The Oldsmobile Limited. The biggest car, one of the bigger cars, the biggest car ever made. 1910 of the era. Huge 6-cylinder with exposed valve train. Huge carburetor. Volvo Penta, basically a 454 Chevy. Water-cooled exhaust manifolds, triangulation bar on the starter. Looks like a GM starter to me. Volvo Penta, really a GM 454. This is a Cadillac 1917. I think it's a Cadillac V8. Dayton Electric Company, Dayton, Ohio. What a beast. Look at that giant clutch. What a throw it bearing, huh? All brass and cast. Beautiful. All alloy Corvette with electronic ignition. 1970 ZL1. Someone has to tell me better what that is. Got a heat shield on the starter. The triangulation bracket is hanging off the, where is it? It's hanging off the starter, right there. Not bolted to the block, just hanging there. Ready to be installed. Wonder if those tower clamps are made in China or they're Wittek, genuine GM tower clamps. Sky Chief. That is one thick piece of plexiglass. Cadillac, Cadillac, Cadillac. Here's some experimental Cadillac V1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 V12. This was meant for production. Distributors in the camshaft ends. 2 carburetors, yeah. Fuel injection? This looks like fuel injection to me. A small bell housing pattern. Meant for production. It's got an air conditioning compressor on it and a non-integrated regulator alternator. V12 welded exhaust manifold. Fuel injected late 60s. Remote oil filter mounts on a big housing off the front of the block and goes sideways. Welded up oil pan with a brace for the steering to go through, or a front wheel drive axle or something. Some weird Cadillac experimental engine. 1970 to 76, 500 cubic inch. Yep. Hard to change that thermostat. Tough to get to. Heavy duty starter. Long armature. Extension on the solenoid. Cadillac. What's that shaft run through? This is a Cadillac V16 that maybe went into that experimental concept car. Concept V16, horsepower 1,000 at 6,000 RPM, torque 1,000 at 4,300 RPM, compression ratio 10.6 to 1. Wow. That is sharp. Buick Dynaflash oil cushion valve in head. The Buick 215, Aurora V8. So we've got this Cadillac V12 fuel injected test mule. Then we've got this newer looking alloy. Much nicer castings on this, much more modern looking. This might have been mid-60s. Chevrolet had fuel injection in 57 through 65, and Pontiac had it 58. Even Rambler had it, I think. This is mid-60s, late 60s. Just judging by what I'm seeing here. Then we've got this V-Future engine. This experimental V12 engine received significant development and testing by Cadillac Engineering in 1963 and 64. Many fuel induction and exhaust designs were tested, which eventually enabled maximum output of over 400 horsepower and 500 foot-pounds of torque. A second engine development program, which was run concurrently with the V-Future, was selected for production. It appeared as the 1968 472, which is that engine over there, 500 cubic inch. The length of the hood and engine compartment of the 1967 through 70 Eldorados were designed to accommodate the possible use of this long V12 power plant. Several of the engineering design concepts which were developed on this engine were incorporated into the 4.1, 4.5, 4.9 liter junk engines in the 1980s that were so doggy and had so many head bolt problems. Who knows what the problems were. The bolts weren't big enough, or the alloys were dissimilar, causing galvanic corrosion, and they had problems. But this is amazing. V-Future. Mid-60s, 3 carburetors, no fuel injection. Looks like it's so close to production. I hear a Corvair running in the background. Someone's driving a Corvair inside this amazing museum. Cadillac Military 346 cubic inch. They use them in tanks. Cadillac 1949 V8 engine. 7 minutes to closing. 1930 Cadillac V16, 1938 Cadillac V16. Flathead, a wide engine angle, almost a flat engine like you'd find in a Corvair or a Volkswagen or a Porsche. This one's a much narrower angle. 1930 V16. What a difference from 1930 with a much narrower angle to the almost flat. Comparatively speaking, they're so different. This is a 1931 V12. Depression era stuff. And look how beautiful it is, all powder coated. And they've got this crystal ball Cadillac. This one's on a test bench, and she's a runner. Choke, ignition. 1917 V8, World War I era. So much to see in a short time. Got some great signs that have all been turned off. They were all flashing earlier in the day. Chevrolet, propeller for the wind tunnel, Electro-Air, 66 four-door sports sedan, concept cars, racing Cadillacs, the greatest Cadillac of them all, 1956. 1950 Cadillac replica race car. 1954 race car replica. Beautifully done. Smoky Unix best damn garage in town. Motoramic. Kirk Thomas driver. 1955 Chevrolet. 195 horsepower. 280. Would have been a 265. V8 Chevrolet. 1902 Oldsmobile Pirate Beach Racer replica. My. 1902 Cadillac North Star. So much to see, so little time. Buick Riviera. I think this was Bill Mitchell's Riviera. Silver Arrow 3. Yeah, Bill Mitchell introduces a 1972 Detroit Auto Show. Isn't that cool, huh? Gotta love them all.